Good evening, guys. Welcome to Poetry Corner, and we're going back to Topsy Tickletown now. It's Topsy Tickletown, Chapter 4, and this is Stumblepants and the very important errand. So let's read on and see what all this important errand is, guys. The day Sir Stumblepants decided to run a very important errand, he dressed accordingly. His jacket was pressed, his shoes polished, and his hat perched at what he believed was a dignified angle. Dignified angle. Though it was, in fact, upside down, he checked his pockets. He checked his pocket watch, which was ticking proudly but belonged to someone else, and nodded to himself. Punctuality, he said aloud, stepping confidently out the door. It's the backbone of importance. I tend to agree with that. Punctuality, he said aloud, stepping confidently out the door, is a backbone of importance. Yes, punctuality, I agree. Immediately tripped over his own doorstep. Across the street, Nanny Noodlewig watched this with a knowing smile and a teacup already in hand. Morning, Sir Stumblepants, she called. Morning, he replied from the ground. I'm quite all right, just greeting the pavement. Today's very important errand was to deliver a sealed envelope from Mayor Pennywig, Puddlewomp, to Professor Fumblepop at the far end of the town. The envelope contained something terribly official. Sir Stumblepants hadn't read it, of course, but it felt important, heavy with responsibility, and possibly with biscuits. He tucked it carefully into his coat and began walking. Topsy Tickletown, however, was in one of its crooked moods. The streets bent when you weren't looking, doorways leaned into for a chat, and the cobblestones had developed opinions. Let me read that again, guys. Topsy Tickletown, however, was in one of its crooked moods. The streets bent when you weren't looking, doorways leaned in for a chat, and the cobblestones had developed opinions. Apples rolled everywhere. So Stumblepants stepped over a cat around a puddle and darted into a barrel of apples. Apples rolled everywhere. Apologies, Sir Stumblepants called, and no one was in the particular. Helping the apples gather themselves back into the barrel, one apple bonked him on the head approvingly. By the time he reached the town square, his jacket was dusty, his hat was missing, and the envelope had slipped halfway out of his pocket. That was when Captain Wobbleboots appeared, marching slightly sideways as usual. Sorry guys, I was going to try to rearrange this camera. I'm getting a glare. That's better, that's it. That was when Captain Wobbleboots appeared, marching slightly sideways as usual. Important day, the captain asks. Extremely, Sir Stumblepants said, handing over the envelope by mistake. Captain Wobbleboots inspected it. This looks important. Thank you, Sir Stumblepants says, taking it back. Please don't let me forget it. Captain Wobbleboots nodded solemnly. I won't. They immediately forgot. Across the square, Professor Fumblepot was adjusting a contraption that hummed, clicked, and gently toasted bread. It's weather-predicting toaster, the professor announced. Dark toast means rain. At that moment, the toaster popped up perfectly golden slice. Said the professor, mild optimism. Sir Stumblepants approached, bowed, tripped, and slid to a stop directly at the professor's feet. The envelope flew into the air, landed on the toaster, and began to warm. Oh dear, says Stumblepants says. Nanny Noodlewigs appeared at once, plucking the envelope away before it could become toast adjacent. You see, she said kindly, handing it back, important errands are best done with help. So Stumblepants blinked, but I want to do it properly. You did, Nanny Noodlewigs said, you just didn't do it alone. Together they delivered the envelope. Inside was a serious document at all, but an invitation for tea. Together they delivered the envelope. Inside was not a serious document at all. It was an invitation for tea. Tea and biscuits, no doubt. Mayor Pennywick had known, of course, he always did. That afternoon the town gathered. Tea was poured. Biscuits were shared. I told you, biscuits were shared. Sir Stumblepants was applauded for completing his very important errand. He bowed deeply and did not fall over. Well, only a little bit. So there you go, guys. Sometimes the most important things aren't done perfectly, but kindly, with others beside you. There you go, guys. Join me tomorrow, guys, for chapter 5. Chapter 5 is Professor Fumblepops and the invention that nearly knew everything. So Professor Fumblepops has a new invention. So join me Tuesday evening to see what the new invention entails. Sure to be chaos and calamity. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed that one. Topsy Tickletown. We're off back to London tomorrow for our Edwardian tale. The Season of Polite Longing, and it's entitled Chapter 2, Hawthorne Vale. Do you remember they got the train from St Pancras Station in London, and they're journeying out into the countryside to Hawthorne Vale. Eleanor Whitcomb and her chaperone, Aunt Agatha. So let's see what that's about tomorrow, guys. Join me for the Season of Polite Longing tomorrow. Until then, have a very lovely evening, guys. I've got my teeth are getting stuck tonight. Have a very lovely evening, guys, and thank you for joining me in Poetry Corner. Take care now. God bless. Stay safe and have a peaceful evening. Bye bye now.